outside.
3, 2, 1, action.
Good morning, sir. We are in Africity in Kisumu. I know that this is your first experience in Africity. What is your first feeling for this edition?
Well, thank you so much, Lionel, and thank you, viewers. I would like to say that my name's George Mwanza. I'm 28 years old, and I'm a mayor of an intermediate city in Zambia, a city called Chipata. It has a population of about 425,000 people. And my experience with the Africities that I'm attending for the first time is that the Africities is indeed a greatest platform on local government. It is a huge platform that every local authority in Africa should be able to take advantage and participate. There's a huge knowledge that is actually there, but also the level of interaction between local government and development partners and young people and all the networks and all the experience that has been accrued in local government. It is exchanged and everything meets at Africities. But also when we look at the theme for the 9th edition of Africities, it centers on the development and contribution of intermediate cities in the implementation of the agenda of the African Union 2063, also the United Nations Agenda of 2030. Now, these agendas have got key issues that local government delivers every day. When you talk about provision of sanitation in intermediate cities, it is a key component that local authorities do implement on a daily basis. And coming here at the Africities, the topic of how we can provide adequate sanitation to the people has been adequately tackled. Issues of climate change, which are issues that affect intermediate cities like my city, have been adequately covered. But also policies and opportunities that exist in intermediate cities has been clearly covered and with a lot of experience sharing from different intermediate cities. So I think that it's been a great experience for me. Thank you.
Thank you. The same question for you. What is your feeling for this first edition of Africity for you, this 9th edition?
Thank you, Lionel, and thank you, viewers. My name is Themba Wandile. I'm a councillor for Pixpeak Town in Eswatini, and I'm also a member of the Eswatini Local Government Association in Eswatini. Lionel, you were asking about my feeling for the Africities. I think, honestly, on these Africities, we had a very great experience in terms of idea sharing. We all know that these people that are meeting here in Africities are from their respective towns back at home, and we as Swazis do things in the Swazi way. But coming here to Africities, meeting like a mayor from Chipata, he's sharing his experiences, how they do things back in Zambia. That helps us a lot because we as local authorities, we hire people each and every day with people with no experience. But them coming to Africities with the different topics and different setup that the Africity have set, it benefits them a lot, and we go back home and implement those things. So for me coming here at Africities, it really benefits me and my team. Thank you.
Thank you. As the Mayor of Chipata said, you raised topic of environment. What topic bring you to Africity?
The most topic that brought me here at Africities was the issue of young people in Africa. It has been said long time ago that the leaders or the futures of Africa are the young people. But the big question is, Lionel, are they prepared? Who has to prepare them? How do we prepare them? So for me coming here and meeting some young leaders and getting guidance to our leaders, our seniors from the USCG, it really helps us a lot, Lionel, because the issues that were being discussed there, preparing a young leader to take over, how do we take, and how do we even correct these policies? Because in our respective countries, Lionel, we have policies whereby as a young leader, like in Zambia, if you are less than 35 years, you cannot be a president. We have, like my friend here next to me, he has displayed leadership skills. He's ready to be a president. Why not take over? What's delaying him? Can the people of Zambia vote him into a president? The answer is yes. But now there are policies that are blocking her way. So those are the issues that we are here to discuss for the young people, because another issue that I think most of the countries and the town brought a lot of issues. Some they are telling there is lack of communication, there is lack of participation for young people. And another thing, Leonard, that I have to say to the young people is, there is no way they can build something without them meeting. So if they want to build something, they must meet, they must participate in whatever the local authorities call them upon. So otherwise, that's it for me.
Thank you, Mayor. One last question. Mayor Chipata, what is your recommendation or your message for the next edition of Africity?
Well, thank you, Lionel. What I would like to emphasize is that Africity is the largest gathering on the continent of Africa on local government. And local government drives the transformation and revolutionary agenda of Africa. And issues that should be at the center of the next Africities should include issues of security and peace on the continent of Africa. We as young people want to take over an Africa that is organized, that is peaceful, that is not torn apart, that is not full with guns. That is the Africa that we want to take up. And it worries us every time when the elderly people can't agree on the continent of Africa. An African killing an African, instead of embracing each other, instead of working together and saying we are Africans before we identify ourselves with states, with countries, with what, we must develop an Africa of the people. So those issues should be at the center, and we would like to see more and more sitting heads of states, especially those that chair the African Union, so that we can interact with them as young people. We would like to interact with them physically as young people and not through somebody else. We want to talk to them and say, what is the kind of an Africa that you are preparing us to take over from you, so that they can be able to assure us that they are going to ensure that they silence the guns on the continent of Africa, and they are going to unite it. So we want issues of security and peace on the continent of Africa to take center stage. The other issue that we would like to see in the next Africities are issues of a borderless Africa. The African Union has actually in 2016 signed what we call the African Union Passport, to allow Africans to do business from municipality to municipality, from state to state, without going through these tedious protocols of border protocols that were actually imposed on us by our colonial masters. So as young people, a lot of our young people are involved in trade, and they do cross-border trading. And we want these people to be secured, because this is a socio-economic emancipation for our young people. And a lot of our young people needs to earn a living out of this by ensuring that our borders of Africa are actually open. With a lot of these measures in place, that is what we are looking at. So these are my expectations in the next Africities. I thank you.
Thank you. Mayor, the same question to you. What are your recommendations or your message for the next edition of Africity?
Thank you, Lionel. Again, Lionel, let me first say, the problem that Africa is facing, the lack of economic opportunities for the young people. And that thing, Lionel, is driving the young people to go on crime, drug abuse as a coping mechanism for them, because they really have got nothing to do. So mine will be, I would love our leaders to organize some sessions, to organize something that would speak to how do we develop the young people, how do we enhance them economically, because that's the most important thing in a young person. Because if somebody is not doing anything, Lionel, if they are stranded on the street, that's why you will find them doing all sorts of things. And also, again, another thing that I would really love us to address, there's been an issue in Africity, Lionel, the language barrier, French speaking and English speaking. You know, there are sometimes some colleague of mine will raise a very important point, but because he's speaking in French, I cannot understand. And I know, Lionel, that our forefathers have always had a dream of having one language in Africa. We all know Swahili is one of the most spoken language in Africa. Why not our leaders, they come up with that thing and say, Africa now must, all the African countries must practice Swahili. So that wherever we meet as African, it's easy for us to communicate. Because at the moment, Mr. Leon, it is so difficult for Africans to communicate, yet we live in one planet, in our mother planet. So I would really love us to look at that issue. Like my friend here said, let them invite all the head of state, if possible. Let them invite all the African national bodies. Because these issues, Lionel, is long overdue. This issue of language barrier need to be addressed today. Thank you.
Thank you, the mayors. It was a pleasure to have you for the first participation, the massive first participation of young elected local officials. Thank you, and I hope to see you in the next Africity edition. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, viewers.
Nice having you, sir.
Thank you.
It's okay.